Mesopotamia, the world's first civilization. What is a civilization? Civilizations are complex societies. They have cities, organized government, art, religion, class divisions, and writing systems. Why are river valleys important? Farming, large amounts of people could be fed, trade, goods and ideas to move from place to place, and cities. Grow up in these valleys and become the centers of civilizations. Mesopotamia is a Greek word and it means the land between two rivers. And as this map shows, it's the Tigris and the Euphrates, and they both dump into the Persian Gulf there, today's Persian Gulf. Mesopotamia was the world's first civilization. The two rivers that allowed Mesopotamia to succeed were the Tigris and Euphrates. The Mediterranean Sea is to the southwest and the Persian Gulf to the southeast. The Fertile Crescent. In the spring, the rivers often flooded, leaving behind rich soil for farming. The problem was that the flooding was very unpredictable. It might flood one year, but not the next. Every year, farmers worried about their crops. So, irrigation came along. Over time, the farmers learned to build dams and channels to control the seasonal floods. They also built walls, waterways, and ditches to bring water to their fields. This way of watering is called irrigation. Irrigation allowed the farmers to grow plenty of food and support a large population. Here's an example of it. Sumer. The first major civilization in Mesopotamia was in a region called Sumer. Food in Sumer. The Sumerians grew several kinds of crops. The most valuable one was barley, which was used to make flour and bread. Dates were also very valuable to the Sumerians. They were eaten once ripe, or they were also dried for future consumption. Dates also made excellent wine. Barley and dates is what they look like. Example of all of that. City-states. Each Sumerian city and the land around it became a separate city-state. Each city-state had its own government and was not part of any larger unit. Social classes in Sumer. Upper classes, kings, priests, warriors, and government officials. Middle class were artisans, merchants, farmers, and fishers. These people made up the largest group. And the lower class were enslaved people who worked on farms or in the temples. Writing. The most important invention of the Sumerians was writing. The writing of the Sumerians was called Cuneiform. Development of cuneiform really evolved from about 3000 BC to 600 BC. You see some different examples here of how things progressed from one span of time to the next. The cuneiform alphabet also was a development of the Sumerians. Eventually, the writing became used as sort of an art form, like this one first story of the Epic of Gilgamesh, where it's really the most famous piece of literature from Sumer is the Epic of Gilgamesh. An epic is a long poem that tells the story of a hero. The hero Gilgamesh is a king who travels around the world with a friend and performs great deeds. When his friend dies, Gilgamesh searches for a way to live forever. Here he is with his friend, very upset. Other inventions: the wagon wheel, the plow, the sailboat, the number system based on 60, geometry, the 12-month calendar. All of these were Sumerian inventions. Examples here from the art of that time: the wagon wheel, what a plow would look like, their sailboats. Now, you also start to get leaders like Sargon. In about 2340 BC, or BCE, Sargon conquered all of Mesopotamia, creating the world's first empire. An empire is a group of many different lands under one ruler. Sargon's empire lasted for more than 200 years before falling to invaders. And Hammurabi. Hammurabi is best known for his law code and collection of laws. Like, for example, Law 195, if a son strikes his father, the son's hands shall be cut off. All of the Hammurabi code laws were like this. They were brutal and very, very punitive for different things. And that's where we stop.